One of the most common questions in the industry is how much does a video cost? But really the better question is how much does a videographer cost? Both clients want to know the answer to this, as well as new videographers who are just getting started going, I don't really know what to charge. What should my rates be? I don't know what's competitive. I don't want to undersell myself, but I also want to get work, so I don't want to overprice it. So I thought I would take some time talking through how easy the answer to this question can actually be. But before we get started, like this video, hit the subscribe button and consider joining the channel. Channel members get exclusive access to Filmmaker Alchemy, behind-the-scenes lessons and insights on the business of video production. Learn how to turn your content into gold. If you're new around here, welcome to the channel. I do from time to time. I tend to rant, I tend to complain, but honestly, I just have opinions and I try and share them openly with everyone else. You have opinions, I have opinions, and that's okay. I'm just some dumb guy making a video. The real smart people are down in the comments. So if you want to hear what they have to say, you can go check them out there. But I do want to spend some time talking about how much does a video cost? How much does a videographer cost? Because it's really, really easy. You can type this question into Google, and now with the new Google AI, it'll just answer it for you. And you can get a complete breakdown of how much a videographer costs, why it costs that much. And if you want to spend some time exploring, there'll be related links over to Reddit where you can see what other people are doing. And of course, this is going to vary by market to market, experience level to experience level. If you're just getting started, don't expect to be charging the highest rates. And also over time, you might think, hey, I'm really experienced, I should be charging those highest rates. But there is a realistic price, kind of a breaking point where you're just charging too much for what maybe your local market will bear. Some people, even in today's world, it's funny, still don't know how much a video costs. I kind of related more to that 10 or 15 years ago when video, especially video on the internet, was still kind of new. There was no real idea. People hadn't done it before, especially clients and businesses wondering, how much does a video cost and what should I be paying? It was a different time back then. Nowadays, the answer to this question is very easy to get, and it should be pretty obvious why it costs what it does. Google will break it down for you, but I'm happy to do that as well. You see, it's very easy, especially with smartphones in everyone's pockets these days, to think, you just take out your phone, you shoot a video, and that's it. But video is both an art and a science. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of creativity involved, but there's a lot of technicals involved as well. It's not as easy as just pointing your camera and shooting. You got to figure out how you're going to get that footage onto the computer. What are you going to do with the footage? Are you going to edit it into something? What software are you going to use? There's a lot of IT and technical components to video production that often go unseen. It's very easy to look at someone holding a camera and know what they're doing. Oh, they're taking pictures, or oh, they're shooting video. But that's really only half of the equation. And it might even be less than half nowadays because so much is happening with the files, with the footage, with the hard drives, with the computers, with the laptops. There's so much done behind the scenes that no one ever really gets to see or appreciate. All the troubleshooting. And if you think, photo is hard, people are willing to pay a premium for good photography. Think about how much harder video is when it's not just one photo, it's 24 photos at least every second. You want them all to look good. You want them to all be in focus. You want the exposure good, the color to be good. The footage itself needs to look good, but let's not forget there's audio involved as well. A good 50% of video is the audio. The audio's got to sound good and not be distracting or noisy, so there's a lot of technical things to get right when it comes to video. Of course, there's the lighting. There's things like makeup and wardrobe and all the components. What does it look like? What lens are they using? What focal length? What's the depth of field? There's a lot to consider, let alone resolution, as well as all the different aspect ratios now. There's horizontal, there's vertical, there's square, so many different ways to slice and dice video. It's very complicated and it can be overwhelming, especially if you're first getting into it. So what I always recommend to clients who are looking to explore video is have you tried it yourself? Because that's usually the best place to start. If someone's asking me, how much does a video cost? I usually ask them, well, have you, made any videos yourself? Have you done it for yourself? And if their answer is no, I'll usually say, well, I think you really ought to do that. You can get a lot of value out of doing the work yourself because nowadays it's as easy as shooting on your phone, right? Put the ball back in their court. And if you're a future client of mine potentially watching this, this is literally what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to say, Go do it yourself. It's the cheapest, easiest, fastest way to do it. But inevitably, what happens is most people who try and do it with their phone realize that it's a struggle, it's a chore, it's a grind, it is a job like anything else. And so inevitably they come back, usually, or maybe they find huge success, which is great. Bravo, congratulations. That's what I want everyone to have. I want people to be successful, whether they're working with me or not, because they don't need to work with me. They can do it themselves. However, if you're on the other side of the equation, you're trying to get into video, there is a lot of troubleshooting involved. People approach this career for the art, for the creative. Oh, I want to be a storyteller. I want to be a movie maker. I want to do something great and impactful. And very rarely do they consider all the technical components that go into achieving those big goals that they have. They want to make money, probably, but they want to tell high quality stories with compelling visuals and good characters and all that great stuff. But there's a huge technical burden there as well that you have to be prepared for and have to have the appetite for. If problem solving and troubleshooting isn't your forte, I'd say probably stay away from this career path. It's just not going to be for you. There's a lot that's going to go wrong, and you're going to have to suffer through those moments of things going bad to figure out how to make them go right. And that's another hard pill to swallow sometimes. But either way, whether you're on the client side looking to pay someone to do the work, or you're someone who just wants to do the work for yourself, just know there's a lot of work that's actually involved just setting up the technical side. And if you can make it past that point, if you can get through all the technical stuff, then you get to the fun, creative part where you get to make great content however you like, because now it's almost the easy part. And it can also be the hardest part because now you got to think, you got to use your imagination, your creativity to come up with things that can also be very exhausting and time consuming. So how much does a video cost? How much does a videographer cost? Well, the answer is always, it depends. How much does a house cost? Houses come in all shapes and sizes, different building materials, different geographic regions. So I can't say how much a video costs or how much a videographer can cost, but over time you can get a sense of what these things ought to cost and what it's worth given your budget and what it would cost for you to do it yourself otherwise. So if you're looking to hire someone, like you're typing in, what does a videographer cost? You're going, oh my gosh, that's super expensive. I would say, yeah, so do it. You have a phone, go shoot your own stuff, go edit your own stuff, and you be incredibly successful. Get those millions of views, make the quality content that you know can be done as cheap and easy on your phone, and then come back to me and see what you have to say after the fact, because you might realize how much of a nightmare, how much of a burden it is, and you may be willing to pay those higher prices and understand why videographers, cinematographers, and photographers are charging what they're charging. This is a profession. It's a career. We're all doing this to make a living, to earn a livelihood so we can pay the bills. And none of us can get by on favors and just handouts, helping people, for freebies from time to time, because it's so easy. It's so quick. Just use your phone. Those are the scenarios where I say, you should use your phone. I empower you to do it. Please, please, please try it. And then you'll see. If you're willing to do that yourself, then great. You just saved a bunch of money. And if you realize that it's such a headache and a pain, you might realize, oh, wow, these people charging, a couple $100, couple $1,000, depending on the job, depending on the gig, that's actually quite a deal. That's a huge discount because there's no way I would spend those 40 hours, 80 hours, 100 hours trying to troubleshoot and problem solve that nightmare of a mess. All that technical stuff, no thanks. I'll just pay someone to do it professionally and then not have those issues and worries about, is it in focus? Does it look good? Does it sound good? How is it edited? And ultimately, was it successful? Did it accomplish the goals that I wanted? Those are all valuable kind of, little practices or habits or just things to do, the steps to go through to get to this answer of how much does a video cost? How much does a videographer cost? Because then you can actually gauge, you have a true sense of what it's actually like to work and do it yourself or work with these people and appreciate what they're bringing to the table. I think both things are really valuable and help all of us work better together. Because even other videographers, there's plenty of people who will come in and try and undercut the market, come in cheaper and try and steal other people's jobs. And they'll basically work themselves into a hole where it's not sustainable. They can't get out of it. There's no way to make it all add up, to pay their bills, to pay their crew if they're working on a team, or just to pay for the cost of what it took to do the job. Those people who come in and undercut, it never lasts. It's never sustainable. The people who are charging the fair rate, the market rate, they can maintain, they can have a successful career with or without AI. Like that doesn't even really matter because it's just another technical component, another technical layer on top of everything else that's software and IT based. So really, no matter what, the market is going to bear what the market bears. And I think people are going to charge a fair rate over time, with or without the people overbidding or underbidding. It all kind of evens itself out. And usually you get what you pay for. That's not always the case. I can't make that promise. But in general, you do tend to get what you pay for if you're working with somebody who has a good track record and is an established body of work. If someone's new, you might roll the dice on that, but that's usually where I would look for those lower price, more of those discounts. And maybe you do get something great, of great value, low price, great return. That can certainly happen. But oftentimes a low price means kind of a bad return in terms of the quality or what it's like working with the person, because delivering the project is one thing, but working with the person is a whole other can of worms. Are they accountable? Are they dependable? Do they show up on time? Do they hit their deadlines? Are they easy and fun to work with? All of these are factors that should be part of that, decision process. So there is no clear-cut answer. Google will give it to you, and that's easy. But the hard part is working through that and seeing, okay, am I getting my money's worth? Ultimately, is it worth it? And that's really going to depend on you, your budget, what you're trying to do with the video, and ultimately what you're trying to achieve long term, because it's never as easy as just the one video. Like, yeah, that can be fine for one project if you only need one video. But more often than not, you need more videos more frequently, especially with the content demands nowadays. So if you're creating content, you got to be able to do that consistently at a high quality. And if you want content for your business or for your brand, whatever it is, you got to factor in, this is not a one-time thing. You're not just buying a video. You're buying videos ongoing because you're going to need that content to keep that drip feed going on social media, on your website, in email newsletters, wherever it is. Content demands nowadays are so high and audiences are hungry for more. So you have to factor all that in. That budget can't just be for one video. It has to kind of be a sustainable budget long term. And if you're still wondering, like, well, what do I do? The best advice I have is just go start making content yourself, and you'll see what it's like. And then you can gauge, okay, what is it worth it to pay someone else to do this? Because chances are the moment you try and do it yourself, you're going to have a headache, you're going to be irritated, you're going to be frustrated, but you need to go through that process to realize how much you value it, because otherwise you're just going to always want a video for a couple $100 and you're going to discount all the work that person is doing behind the scenes, not realizing how hard it is for them to actually do that. And you might think, oh, well, professional, they know all the tricks and they can make it easy. Yeah, that comes with experience, but also it's still a lot of the same steps. Shooting is shooting, editing is editing. There really aren't shortcuts for some of the main foundational things. So if you're not willing to understand what it's like to do it yourself, you're going to have a harder time gauging what it's worth to pay someone else. So best place to start is just do it yourself, start making content, see what it's like, and then see where you want to go from there.